Hi there, welcome. It's SVPod. Red is at my feet. Handsome bandana straight from the bath. Stanford Steve joins us from California. On the ground for the Rose Bowl. I see in his hand a cup. That cup.
This one?
For those listening, picture that white cup with the red squiggly lines and the palm trees. That's an In-N-Out cup. How long from the airport until the order was in your hands?
Too long. I mean, it's like a half hour, but out here, you can't get anywhere. It was 29 miles, I think, from airport to hotel, and it's like an hour. It's I don't know how they do it.
I don't know either. But
I was also told by the guy at the front desk, I am here for the parade of roses.
Okay.
I was like, no, I'm not. I'm here for the Rose Bowl. He's like, the parade of roses. I'm like, all right, we'll see. We'll see what looks better in the rain. We'll see.
There you go. But nevertheless, what looks good in the belly is a 3x3.
Yeah, added pickles this time. Pretty good.
Where'd that come from? Just seemed like the thing to do?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Yeah. Tremendous.
That's so good. So
perfectly cut pickles.
Perfectly cut pickles, 3 beef patties of cheese in the man's belly. Hot fries, eat them first?
Absolutely, in the car. I'm not fresh out of the bath like Red is. I will say that.
Understood.
It's been a long day. But we're here.
Well,
we're here.
Your boots on the ground for the parade of roses. And we're here hunkered down. I'm just grateful to be anywhere above ground after last night. Buddy, I texted you at 3-something in the morning. Anyone on the East Coast knows that Monday was as windy a day as I can recall in some time. Came home, inflatable Santa in the adjacent yard. Not quite, but ish. It was windy getting out of Dodge and the wind front flying home. I got to tell you, I haven't been legitimately frightened on an airplane in a while, but buddy, salute to the pilots that got us safely down on the ground. No joke. Like we can have a laugh about being at A6 and mechanical, but push comes to shove, your lives are quite literally in the hands of 2 guys in the cockpit, and we're sideways, and I am legitimately full on I am deep in prayer saying, just let us just get down on this ground softly. We did. Afterwards, I said, now that we're here, 1 to 10, how challenging was that? And he said, every bit of an 8. And I'm thinking, I wouldn't want 9 or 10. I'm talking headwinds, wind shear, up and down, sideways. Just glad the big man, I might have been grabbing out for a knee.
I might have been on your lap.
And I'd have been happy to have someone to hang on to. It was legitimately frightening, but again, you're just grateful for a safe landing. But you get home and you squeeze onto those kiddos and think, man, no joke. I haven't been scared in a long time. That it was windy, but expertly handled. We appreciate that. I have a list of things and topics. Most of them are NFL college playoff related. There's a little college hoops. I think it's an important college hoops topic to get to. Do you want to start college football, seeing that you're there and we're looking forward? Or you want to sort of dive into NFL where I'm just interested in where your brain's at?
Let's do the NFL because I don't have much to the table's set
for football college.
for NFL.
Oh, okay.
Like the table's set. Like I have no idea who's going to win these games.
There you go.
I don't know who's playing, and I don't want to waste time talking about it because I honestly don't know. We have 3 games that have magnitude.
Kind of.
I mean, taking out a seeding. Like I was trying to read on the plane today, and the Colts make the move. Like that's not a big deal.
Riley Leonard is in. We've seen the Phillip Rivers thing. It was I think we could all process the story. If you're of a certain age, you view it through the old guy's eyes and go, right on. But I mean,
yeah, anyone who doesn't appreciate it isn't old enough. That's what I've come to.
Right, and if you're the young guy that's laughing at the old guy, stick around.
Correct.
Stick around, because then guess what? One day you're the old guy, and then you go, oh, I get it. It's fine. You don't perspective. You either have it or you get it. And if you're young, you probably don't have it. That's okay. Yeah, but who's playing is the giant mystery.
And I don't know what to say.
Here's what I've got. I've got a list of the teams that we know are playoff teams. And the biggest thing I came away from last night with after talking with Ryan Clark is every single team has a giant but that's pretty easily identified. For me, except one. I'll get to that. If I say to you Seattle, you go, yeah, but what's Darnold going to do in a big spot? And that's probably a reasonable thing to say. Last year, this very week, Steve, Minnesota went to Detroit, couldn't do it. Then they go play L.A. That game was in Phoenix because of the wildfires. He was under duress. The Rams just terrorized him all night. He was bad, and they punted on Darnold. So he ends up in Seattle. Well, now you're in the exact same spot a year later, on the road, with the 1 seed right there in front of you. What's Darnold going to give you? We did just see an awfully good fourth quarter / overtime performance out of the guy against the Rams. So maybe that but is overstated. But we have a giant opportunity this week to see something there. For Philly, the defense against Buffalo is unbelievable, but it's the second game of the season that they've won where they didn't complete a pass and a half. I love their defense, and I trust that. I just don't know that you can keep winning games the way we saw them win when we went to Lambeau, where it was all defense, the way they did just now against Buffalo, where it was all defense. And if you're an Eagle fan, you go, yeah, but we did. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I think they've proven they can win that way, but that's got to be the concern with them. Just the fact that the offense can go just dead silent for entire halves of football. San Francisco, their defense can't stop anybody. Mm-hmm. Chicago, defense. Yeah, you got more turnovers than anybody, but if you don't get turnovers, you don't get stops. Green Bay, I just watched you give up 307 yards on the ground. You're not going to have to play against Derrick Henry again, but Love in a big spot. I mean, when it just comes to do you want to buy it? NFC South, no, not interested. New England, who you've played and May hasn't played in the playoffs, but that's it because they beat the shit out of teams, and that's what great teams do. Boat race bad teams. Buffalo has lost just enough that I don't know. You know what I mean? The games where it's close, they've lost some games that as much as I love Allen, it's like, yeah, but does he going to have to do everything? Denver has these quarters where they go silent on offense. They've won some ugly games against bad teams. The Chargers' offensive line is going to get Herbert killed. Pittsburgh or Baltimore, same deal as the NFC South. The teams I have the least questions with are Houston and Jacksonville. Honest to God, in the AFC right now. Mm-hmm. And I have no questions about the Rams other than the last 2 things I just saw. Don't give you a ton of confidence, but they're going to get some O-linemen back and the key pieces on defense. So it's just, I guess this is just me reading an accounting of what we've got. And there's no team that you can just point at definitively and go, yep, I like them. Maybe you have one. I don't know.
No, I don't. I don't trust anybody. I'll take defenses over offenses.
So are you, our buddy Sheehan, Kevin Sheehan, that we reference often locally here in Washington, he said he went on the radio like a month and a half ago and said, I took a flyer on the Texans 30-1 to win the AFC, just because I think they've got a defense that could win a Super Bowl. Sure.
Yeah, that price ain't around anymore.
Well, no, it's long gone. I mean, that's how long ago he had the clarity in the vision. He's a guy, by the way, he does this segment called the Smell Test, which is his version of winners. Only his are winners. I think he's like 65% this year. It's preposterous. He has clarity, which is what we all seek. But I'm intrigued as hell. I mean, I'm excited about these games. I'm really interested, Steve, because we have a decent idea of who could be playing who. You know, LA losing last night, like, you're going to have to go to Philly. Like that. This team I have liked more than anybody, the Rams, that might be their opening week game is a trip to Philly. And they could just throw on the tape from earlier this year when they had a big lead and missed a kick late that got blocked and returned and go, you know what? Okay, cool. We'll go to Philly. We're a play away in the snow from beating them last year. I don't think they'd be frightened, but like that could be your opener, which speaks to how insane wild card weekend's going to be. I mean, you got heavyweights playing that week.
Yeah, when you allow 17 teams from each conference to get into playoffs, you're going to have teams that could beat each other.
How many do you want? 6?
One team gets a bye. That seems stupid. That's never happened until this new thing.
Yeah.
Like, give me 2. How many divisions do we have? 3 or 4?
There's 4, Steve.
Is there 4?
Yeah, 4.
All right.
Yeah,
I just
East,
give me
South,
top 2
North.
buys.
East, South, Northwest. That's what you got.
7 teams make the playoffs. Is that what it is? Like, so stupid.
I'm kind of down on the number of games, and this idea that we're inevitably going to go to 18. I mean, why? As it is,
because the NFL is the luckiest thing in the world.
What do you mean?
Like Sunday night, look at that game they get in primetime. Like, you know something's going to happen in the Pittsburgh-Baltimore game that's going to be absolutely incredible.
I guess.
Like, this league just lucks out time after time. And
it's
all the positives outweigh the negatives unless we try and point out what we like and don't like.
Well, the thing about it is this. Of course you can go to an 18th game because the NFL can say correctly, we could sell it for X plus Y plus Z, and all these folks will line up to pay for it. That's us, NBC, etc. But like a lot of folks this week, over Christmas week, I think people are off. And then this week, it's like for $1 million, you're not going to be able to know what day of the week it is. Mm-hmm. I mean, who knows? You just hang out in your pajamas all day and watch football games. Or go to the Parade of Roses. But 7 options were required last week to be able to watch all the NFL games between Netflix and Prime and Peacock and all, us, Fox, CBS, NBC, etc. 7. And the Netflix games that you got on Christmas Day, like 5 of the 6 teams that were playing in those games last year were playoff teams, and the other was Dallas. So, like, on paper, when you get it, you're psyched. Well, 3 of the 5 playoff teams have already been eliminated, and 3 of them started third-string quarterbacks because you're never going to be able to, as a league, avoid the war of attrition. That is what this league has to. Everyone's got to dodge bullets, but a lot of people can't. And you're going to get to late December every year, and Josh Johnson's starting football games. Just is going to happen. Does every year. And so the idea that you would add an additional week, I mean, yeah, you got lucky. Pittsburgh, Baltimore matters. San Francisco, Seattle's a big-time game. And the NFC South, someone by rule has to win it. That's what that is. But outside of that, that's what you've got for week 8, game 18. Week 18, I should say. You go to week 19 with game 18, what are you going to have? Maybe nothing. And then you have the equivalent of a week's worth of preseason level games in terms of participation and whatever else. I just don't think it's a win. Yeah. It'll happen, though.
For sure.
And people will watch.
Pumped for all these division games this week. That's big.
So
it's good.
In review, Steve doesn't want division games early, and you don't want to save them all late. Let's have some in the middle.
There's only October and November, Like, you could play them. It's only 8 weeks. We're maybe one. Not asking for a wall. Like,
hey, I'll say I'll say it like
so
you.
dumb.
I'm with you. I'll say it Valley style. I'm with you. And you're right, because when you save all these games, Washington, Philly last week, no one cares. No one.
2 of the last 3 weeks. How are those games?
Couldn't matter less. Couldn't matter less.
I'm guessing less Commanders are going up to Philly than that we were chronicling that went to the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, and certainly not as many folks heading north on 95 as came down south to wear green and cheer for the Eagles. But I mean, you get some games of intrigue, and now oddly enough, that Atlanta-New Orleans game, if Atlanta wins, it means no matter what, Carolina-Tampa Bay, it doesn't matter. Carolina goes. It would be perfect for this season of NFC South football if Carolina lost to Tampa Bay and then Atlanta won, which meant Carolina would lose its last 2 games and still be the representative in the playoff.
Mm.
We had Kyle Brandt on SportsCenter. We just didn't make the part that was on air. We said that we wanted to be like the college football playoff committee and decide who between Atlanta and New Orleans should go, because they're the best team now. Give me Shuck or give me Bijan. Either one feels like they'd have a better chance of winning a game than Carolina. Hasn't won back-to-back games since before Halloween. Tampa Bay's 1-7 their last 8 games.
But you still got to value the regular season.
I understand that. I'm just saying I like watching old Shuck spin it out there for the Saints.
Great story.
Atlanta's had some sickening losses in retrospect.
They need to play every game on Monday night.
Clearly, at home on Monday night, a 16-game 17-game home schedule. They hadn't won at home since Buffalo, Week 6, Monday Night Football,
Monday night game,
where Bijan went nuts. Man, he's good. No one else moves the way he does with the football. There's a category of guys, Jahmyr Gibbs, Saquon, McCaffrey, Cook's had an awfully nice year. But when you watch the way he moves among people, he finds space. He's the only one that does it like that, right? I mean, Saquon, who's pretty good with it, says that's the guy he emulates and admires.
Lateral quickness. What he must be able to do on the ladder, like in practice, is stupid. The amount of time, how fast he could put his feet up and down lateral and get up to top speed.
That's the thing.
It looked like he was like he wasn't in top gear. He was waiting for that DB to try and catch him to put it in overdrive, because he has heard. He made a point to make a mention that people don't think he's elite fast, which I thought was funny. I'm like, well, that put that to bed.
Yeah, and I asked him, like, were you looking at the Jumbotron the way guys do? And he's like, no, because that end zone he was running towards is the one that's got the glass end. And I said, I didn't think about that. So he had this sort of
you can't do that at that stadium.
No,
you're
right.
Around the 50-yard line.
Stadium feels a little different for an SEC title game than it did last night.
Oh, God, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. I went inside to watch the first quarter. I'm like, this is... I couldn't even come up. I'm not great at analogies, so I don't try, but like 100-1 is the difference of loudness in that game last night compared to the SEC championship game. It's totally nuts. And it was funny talking to the security guys as you're doing SportsCenter after, and we're like, oh yeah, man, that's crazy. That SEC game, that gets loud. We wear earplugs. It was funny.
That stadium's a bit of a conundrum. It's inside, yet it isn't. Somehow it's a wind tunnel and it's fucking freezing, and you're inside. Don't know how you guys thread the needle down there to somehow make your indoor place cold and windy, but you've done it. Last year, Ryan Day had the Gatorade or the water dumped on him, and it was an Arctic blast had gone through. It was like 0 in Atlanta, and he was shivering sitting there. We're indoors, but not. We'll be back there, by the way, for a semifinal game. As we're going all over God's green earth here in these coming weeks. But the Rams, they're banged up. They still had a chance.
Yeah, watching Devontae Adams pregame, he's going to be fine. Trust me. He'll be all right. And then the surprise was even talking to the game crew when Troy's waiting to go on with you, and that's when they announced Alaric and the other guy are not playing on the offensive line. That's why I was like, oh, whoa. I'm like, that's kind of big because I really like Atlanta's front.
Well, they went from 31st in the NFL last year in sacks, they being Atlanta, to now they're top 5. I mean, they've totally flipped the script in their ability to be disruptive up front. And so good for Atlanta. But the Rams still able to come back and tie it. And Puka nearly makes a ridiculous catch that would have given him a chance to tie it. But
yeah, see, I go back to the other one.
The PI?
First down. It's a touchdown. It wins the game. Stafford misses him.
You're right. Who's that? Smith? Yeah, you had Smith.
Wide open. Like, what a call. And Troy drew it up. Safety bites on the over route, which was Puka, I believe. That's a touchdown. Like, one play, what is that, 75 yards, 65 yards now?
It would have been. And Matthew
Joe
knew
was
it.
on top of it. You got to make the Rams return the ball there.
Yeah, I agree.
In the end zone. Like, we were at Chicago week 1 for that. Got to have the discipline to details.
That's fair. They're going to be fine. I'm convinced of it.
You are.
Yeah, I mean,
big Rams guy.
I'm not punting. Just because there's as much as I love the way San Francisco is playing offensively right now. Love Shanahan-Purdy combo. I mean, Kittle's out fine. Tonja's your night. We'll feed you. McCaffrey's a monster. They have the fewest sacks in the National Football League and can't get stops. I just
also to point out on the dum-dums of the NFL schedule, the Niners and the Seahawks played week 1.
Week 1, week 18.
What are we doing? Where's Twelman?
What are we doing? You need another. If you want another week, make it another bye week. Let people get healthier. That's your biggest issue as a league. People are so beat up. It just is monster game of attrition. But you know what?
You think Lamar would play if he had a bye week?
That's a really tricky one. And I get Swag last night. Swag's passionate and he's angry that the commentary surrounding Lamar is, in his opinion, overly critical. I wasn't being critical. My opinion, me saying that they're 6-6 with him as a starter isn't an opinion. I'm not being critical. I'm just reading the numbers that are the facts of the season. And Nick Wright on Fox and has been on this all year that he feels like there's a disconnect with Harbaugh and with Lamar, and then that Baltimore Banner, I believe it was, article comes out very critical of Jackson, and it's like, man, this is a multiple MVP, I mean, this isn't. And two things can be true simultaneously. You can be a great player, and I said to Swag last night, I'm like, I'm not saying they're better without him, but I wonder if he's playing this week, and if he doesn't, then I think it's fair to wonder, does this mean that it's fork in the road time for whatever reason? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I just watched him Saturday night with Snoop at the helm, and I'm like, give me that. There was a want to on that side of the ball. I thought the O-line played their best game of the year.
Well, they also gave the ball to Henry. I mean, there's times where he didn't play the fourth quarter against who'd they lose to the week before? New England. Right? I mean, he didn't touch the ball in like the last 13 minutes of the fourth quarter or whatever it was. It's like, how's that happen? He punishes people. Going back to Yulee in high school. All throughout his professional career, college career in Alabama. I mean, I don't know. That's a legitimately fascinating situation because you have the two longest tenured coaches that I wonder, and you and I have been, me more than you as it relates to Tomlin when it comes to Pittsburgh folks. I'm like, you guys still going to be bitching about Tomlin? And then after they lose, you get people on social media, hey, Van Pelt, can we complain about you? Do whatever you want to do. Go scream, fire Tomlin. It's you're do what you want. You don't need my permission, obviously. You haven't been bad in a long time. You also haven't been great in a long time, and you're still not. You're stuck in that place. Baltimore's kind of been like that as well. Yeah, Harbaugh's won a Super Bowl, but not with Lamar. So it's wild to see where things are as it relates to Jackson. I haven't heard Harbaugh mentioned nearly as much as I've heard Tomlin in terms of would the organization go in a different direction. But, I mean, at some point, all things change. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt. And I think it's going to get louder. Like, if they don't make it, he's going to be the only coach to have a 2-time NFL MVP that didn't go to a Super Bowl with him. Every other 2-time NFL MVP and head coach went to it. I'm not saying winning, went to it. And I think that's all that the Ravens fans would have wanted, to like get us there.
But it's
a one game deal. And then, you had complete all-timers in front of you in that road in years previous, and it's like just like the Bills this year. It's right there for the taking, but I don't trust them at all.
Buffalo?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. So. And then the top of that division, I was looking at this the other night. I mean, the top of the AFC, Denver, New England, Jacksonville, combined, you have one playoff win among the quarterbacks, and it was gift-wrapped by the Chargers for Jacksonville. They had a 27-0 lead at Jacksonville and lost. That's the only playoff win for the quarterbacks playing those positions. Now, watching Drake May and being a Vrabel fanboy, I'm not doubting them. When people point out their schedule and how historically weak it's been, that's because it's a fact. So they're going to get their chance. It's new. The tournament's different. You ask guys around the league and coaches, they'll tell you. Feels different. At least Knicks in Denver, they went on the road last year. They took a lead in Buffalo, as I recall. Wasn't it like a Mims bomb or something like that? They had the lead in Buffalo.
Yeah, didn't end well.
I understand.
Yeah.
But you don't have a ton of experience and success there at the very top, and you don't have Lamar, you don't have Mahomes, and so if you're Josh, you're the one that everyone's going to go, all right, buddy, not now or never, but now would be a real good time.
Yeah.
College football playoff gets ramped up. You're in Pasadena for the parade, obviously.
Yeah.
I told you at some point on the flight somewhere, I don't remember where we were, I said, Bama's going to beat Indiana, aren't they? And you said, no. You're a buyer of Indiana.
More so, I just don't trust Alabama. It's just...
They haven't given you a lot of reasons to. I get that.
And I've been a big fan of Ty Simpson through this season. And I appreciate what they did. And I think those are better wins than average teams, and people point to Missouri not beating a ranked team. I still think going there and winning is a good win. Going to South Carolina and being behind is a good win. When you're Alabama, you're getting everybody's best shot.
That's true.
And now that the tables are totally turned upside down, and that's what I find fascinating in this deal is he can't play everybody doesn't think we're good anymore, and I'm talking about Cignetti. Like.
You're a 7-point favorite over Alabama.
Yeah. And I thought his quote today was great when they asked him about the Alabama mystique and what his players think of it. And he said, they don't think of it. They just know what the players they are that they see on tape. And I just thought it was a great answer. Listening to Brian Haynes admit that maybe he got out of his boots a little bit against Ohio State last year in the biggest spot they were in. And now this team having a better feel and that team, being more comfortable with themselves.
That was the quote, Steve, that stuck out to me that I believe that no matter how much, which is kind of what I'm getting at when I'm talking about like May and New England in the playoffs. Like if you haven't been there, how is Indiana supposed to act like you've been there before? That's what everybody says. Well, we can't because we never have been.
Yeah.
So they weren't. If they weren't comfortable last year against either Ohio State or against Notre Dame, well, how are they going to be? Well, now they've lived in the deep end, man, 24-2 over 2 years. And I read that same quote, and I just nodded, and I thought, I bet you are. I bet now you know this is real. You've demonstrated it. This is 2 years in a row you're in the playoff. They should be more comfortable.
Yeah, and when you look at how they've done it, that's what I find so awesome. Is Haynes got 2 extensions last year. Like NFL teams, another college team wanted to come get him. I believe it was USC wanted their strength coach. He got an extension out of it. They paid Shanahan again. Like, they are doubling down on what they're doing, and now you have what you went through last year as experience, and we'll see what we get. I believe, I would think everybody does. They have an upgrade at the quarterback position. You know, I was talking about with you last night about running backs in the sport. Everybody has 3. If you don't, it's not. And then this is where you find it out. Think about what Trevion and Quinshawn did in the playoff this year because they had half the snaps that they did in years previous, one at Ole Miss and one at Ohio State. So the way Indiana has done this, I think it's way more trustworthy. I believe it's way more trustworthy. Now you have to go out and do it. And that's what's great. I mean, we have 4 monster games.
I agree.
Like, everything you want. I'm sorry, A&M. I'm sorry, Oklahoma. You were right there, but we didn't lose anything not having you here. I get the biases out there. We have
all due respect.
Monumental games. And, you know, with all the shit that's been talked about the sport and where's it going and what are we going through, and like, sit back and enjoy this, man. New Year's Eve, a playoff game, and then 3 on Thursday with everything on the line. And Indiana's never been there. Texas Tech, never played defense in my life before. Oregon is in the same exact spot. Like that, I find them really interesting because everyone's picking them apart. I don't look at last week's game as a big deal. That defense was on the field for 95 snaps against James Madison, who was throwing every card in the deck at him. Like, get out of there and get a win. And now you got a chance. You're right where you were last year, and you got a chance to prove it. I think Oregon's a dangerous team come Thursday. And then the SEC rematch. Like, Ole Miss, and they got to stop with this tampering stuff with like, Lane Kiffin's going to go to the game. Like, sorry, he's the head coach of the team that's in the state. He's friends with the governor. I don't know if they're going to bring a live tiger, but if they do, they can. It's their state. But what's done is done in the transfer portal. Like, January 2nd, watch how many guys announce where they're going. Did they just make that decision that day? Get out of here.
Of course
it's
not.
Already done.
Of course
so
not.
Please stop with that.
And you mentioned James Madison. I just want to mention this. This is this existential sort of crisis as it relates to Group of 5, and, you know, should they be in there? And there are people that were. I was critical not of them, just of the inclusion of 2 teams in Tulane and James Madison that weren't going to be competitive when we only had 12 people. Far bigger concern for that level of football is what they exist to be at this point, which was just stocking the shelves of people above them. James Madison's entire 11 on starting 11, I believe it was, like, that were eligible on offense, all in the portal. Am I right? Do I have that right? Like the entire team. So what's worse, people saying mean things about you, not having a chance to win a game in the playoff, or the fact that the way the sport is currently set up, if you're good, you can't possibly aspire to be the next year because your whole team's going to be gone. And it is. The college football, college basketball is even worse. I'm going to get to that in a minute or later in the pod. But when we say there's no rules, I mean, there's just nothing preventing anyone from just coming and just raiding what you have. And that's the real existential crisis for lower level schools, is that. You know, I mean, the American's been a conference that clearly you're well thought of. You're the one that's where everybody goes when they want a new head coach. I mean, the SEC took 3 of them this year. I mean, that's how you know what level you're playing at. But then come January 2nd, when everybody is, hey, I'm going here, I'm going there. As you say, Steve, like, just wake up one morning and prayed on it, and that's how you figured it out. That's amazing how you got those terms all sorted out.
Yeah.
Good work there.
No, I just keep saying, these 8 teams, man, there's so many good stories. I
have a question for you.
Yeah.
When I think of Miami, against Ohio State, my first thought is they made life problematic for Reed. I think maybe A&M didn't help him with the way they game plan.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they can pressure Sand, and no quarterback likes pressure. Indiana pressured him, bothered him. I think they can do that. And that makes me think Miami can compete. And then, Steve, and then I go, but what about the way Ohio State's defense can pressure Beck?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I have a disconnect of believing Miami can hang around and make it a 4-quarter game. You know what I'm saying? That's my fear. Beck could shut up the world if he went out, played a clean game, and made a bunch of big-time plays. Like, he could shut up the whole bleeping world. But he also could add another layer of what happened against, say, Louisville. You know what I mean? And that's my fear when it comes to, do you back Miami? So does that make sense? Just that Ohio State defense that we've talked so much about this season?
Yeah, I think it's a lot like what we saw in the NFL this week, Scott. Like, everyone loved the Seahawks-Rams game and the Niners-Bears game.
Yep.
Why?
Because points. You're right.
Right.
People like watching points.
Yeah.
They hated the A&M Miami game, whereas if you watched it, that game was awesome.
And Reese and I are standing on the sidelines, and Reese, I think it was after halftime, and he's like, of course, just check my phone. Everyone's bitching about the first half. No, first scoreless game in the playoff era. I'm like, well, they're not here because this is awesome. And then I'm watching Eagles-Bills with Tim Sunday, and I'm like, this is unbelievable. Like, who's going to step up and make a play? And I just find that that sense of competitiveness and, like, who's going to take the big step? Who's going to take the chance? And to your point about Miami and Ohio State, when I go back and watch it and then you run the numbers, Beck averages 6 yards a target.
6.
For the season. 6. Barely halfway to the first down markers. And you're not going to beat Ohio State like that. I mean, think about when Indiana took the shots. They hit them. They didn't do it a lot. But that's what got them the win. And when I watch Ohio State, just a pedestrian game plan. I don't think Jeremiah and Tate were 100% in that game. I am not taking any credit away from Indiana. But think about what they looked like against Michigan and then what they looked at last year. And think about what they looked like against Tennessee. You had Jeremiah Smith lining all over the place. You had a confident Will Howard that looked like he had a clear head on his shoulders. And you had guys moving around, and that offense was foot on the gas. They go to Pasadena. That game's over in the first quarter. So be wary. There's plenty of tape on Miami. We've seen I was talking to Rhett Lashley about like how he went about attacking. I was like, you had like 8 guys catch the ball. He's like, yeah, man. He's like, you don't have time. He's like, we're gonna dial it up and we're gonna hit the open guy.
Yep.
And then you looked at Louisville, how they attacked him, quick game, and then their receivers made guys miss, which doesn't happen against Miami, but they made the most of the opportunity. So it's a dangerous spot. And on the other side, with Beck not throwing the ball down the field, they still have game breakers on their team. So like, this could be a quick hit early 7-0 game where it's like, oh, we're gonna get a high scoring game, and then these defenses just buckle down. My deal with Miami is 60 minutes. It's going to be 60. And you showed you could go to A&M and do it. But now you got to do it again against the best defense. So they have the guys to do it. There's no doubt in my mind.
I would think, I hope anyway, that when you go back and you look at what worked against A&M, Fletcher averaged 10 a carry against A&M at College Station. Run the ball. I mean, it ain't complicated.
Yep. But again, the difference there is because A&M moves around so much, you got to stay with it.
Yeah, but Steve, well, okay, what's the one,
like Texas did.
Okay, but what's the one thing that you've told me all year whenever I've been raving about Ohio State? Silver bullets, safeties, corners are nuts, linebackers are great. What's the one thing where they've traditionally been awesome and aren't as great this year? Where?
D-line. I don't
there
think
you
they
go.
have
So I mean,
understood.
I'm not calling it a weakness, and I know you're not either. I'm just saying it isn't the strength. And if that's
correct,
I'm finding where am I strong that you're not? That's life. Any sporting contest. I don't care what sport you're playing. Am I strong where you're not? Where you're not your strongest? Let's do that. Why would I go to something that maybe in Beck isn't my strength into your teeth of your strength? Yep. So run the fucking football.
Yeah. And like being there and seeing Michigan dice them up the first 2 series and then nothing.
Yeah.
So it's a lot.
That's committing to doing it.
Yeah. Which gets, people get it's easier to do, or it's easier to stay on a game playing a neutral site game, I feel, because the noise doesn't get as loud. But you gotta stay with it. And Miami proved that they could do it. But they're gonna need their quarterback to make some throws. There's gonna be that's what I want to see. 3rd and 8. What are you doing?
See what I'm doing here? How many am I holding up?
Throw it to 10.
Throw it to 10. We know throw it to 4.
Yeah.
Throw it to 10. Bubble screen. Let him make a move.
It's awesome. You think that game's low scoring though, right? You think like 23 points wins it?
I'd be shocked if more did. I'd be shocked if you needed more than that to win that game.
Huh.
Shocked.
With the weather too, I kind of feel the same with Indiana.
Oh, I feel, yeah. But you know what? I think the world felt like Oklahoma, Alabama was going to be low, and then it
totally.
I mean, had a couple
and those conditions piled on that one. It was windy as hell. No, again, I can't wait for these games.
Nor can I. And we're on after Miami, Ohio State. So, hey, Dick Clark's rocking New Year's Eve or Bald Peepaw Vision. Hang out with us. The choice is clear. The choice is clear.
Would you rather host New Year's in New York City for 3 hours
or
host the Parade of Roses for 6?
Ooh. Oh my!
And I'm waiting on a text back from the Gandhi. He's out here.
God, this is. I always said Russillo was the best. Would you rather? Because he would put me in an absolute blender of just horrible choices. But I
try and draw a line as far as uncomfortableness. There was no line with Russillo.
No, none. The filter was absent. Which is why none can be repeated. But trust me, they were funny. 3 hours. Do I have to be outside in New York City?
Yes.
But I'm up on a perch. I'm not in the middle of these people pissing on themselves, right?
With those nice earmuffs, too.
Cool. 3 hours.
You
know what? I'll just go Anderson Cooper and just get bombed. Because I love Champagne. That's easy. 6 hours of pretending I know who these people are in the parade and all. I can't do that. I'm not built like that. 3 hours just crushing Champagne, bombed.
Introducing
the Killers.
What's her name? Iggy Azalea?
Yeah.
Where's she? Bring her back.
I don't know.
She's got to be writing some bangers somewhere.
Probably.
Got it.
She's in the middle of some banger construction, undoubtedly. Yeah, I'll do that. 3 hours, New York City, live.
Wow.
In the cold. I learned. I'll just bundle up. It's many layers. Wear a hat. Doesn't even have to be great champagne, as long as it's really cold.
Put it in a cup.
A little snifter.
Yeah.
I'm down.
What do you think of Texas Tech, Oregon?
It's the game that I feel like is the biggest blind spot for me because how do I say this? I worry Texas Tech's quarterback play it's such a bizarro world, photo negative. All our lives they had quarterbacks that you're like they could get you 480 and 6 touchdowns.
They all passed each other on the all-time list.
Correct. The defense is going to give up 48 but we're going to have a chance because we're going to have Sonny Cumby out there.
Yeah.
Or whomever zipping it. Well, now they can run it and they play defense. Wait, we have breaking news. Red is getting on the bed. He's scraping at the bed. It has an R on it. Red, that's the R's on the bed. Red, the
name,
R. There you go. Lay down, buddy. Lay down. Lay down. Lay down. Lay down. Nope. Scratching wildly. Sit down. Lay down, buddy. Lay down. Lay down, Red. Who's a good boy? There you go. Spin in a circle. I just wish more than anything I could have a thought bubble of what it is. Lay down, buddy. Our friends from Podville/Omaha bought him a bed, and it has an R on it, so he's trying furiously to scrape the R off of the bed because he doesn't understand.
He'll get it off.
Red, just lay down, buddy. If you just lay down, you'll see. Lay down. Lay down. There you go. No. Fuck this R. I got to get this R off the bed immediately. How's that working for you, Red? There you go. There you go.
Still there.
Lay down. Lay down. Nope. Scrape, 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 scrape. Red, lay down. It's super comfy. Lay down. Lay down, buddy. And one more spin. And scrape, scrape, scrape. What was I saying? Oh, just talking about Texas Tech. I trust their defense. And I watched James Madison move the ball on Oregon a lot. I mean, they had, would you say, 95 plays?
Yeah.
I mean, now granted, the offense scored so fast that you're going to have to play a bunch of defense. But I'm way less sure of what Texas Tech's going to do than I say sure of. I'm way less certain of what I believe they'll be than, say, Oregon. And it's just because of familiarity with them in games like this. And so I'm just anxious to see, does Tech play like they've played all year? And I want him to, oh, he laid down. There you go, go boy. I want him to, just based on what you described to me about Lubbock and that place and how, I mean, they're all in quite literally on a financial front because they got, oil money or gas money or whatever the hell it is. But Oregon's sort of, they got sneaker money. You know what I mean? They've just been at it for a few more decades. So, do you buy Texas Tech? You believe they're going to compete?
I do not think they are Indiana last year.
Meaning?
They're going to compete.
Okay. Because Indiana, that was a close game against Notre Dame, Steve. Don't you remember?
Don't even get me
No, it was close. They only lost by 10. Yeah.
Didn't cover.
Touchdown, onside kick, touchdown late, and a lot of. You know what? Folks from Indiana,
they're number one. They're undefeated.
Exactly. They stopped needing to try to convince themselves and us that they were actually in that game last year with Notre Dame, which you weren't. Little window dressing late, and that's fine. You can feel good about it, but you're number one and you're 7-point favorite against Alabama in the Rose Bowl the next year. So you don't need to tell yourself anything. You think Texas Tech's ready to battle?
Yeah, but I like Oregon to win the game.
Okay. This is the old SVP and Rosillo days. If your TV worked for 3 hours on one channel, which game would you pick? And for me, the answer is that one. I want to see Oregon and Texas Tech. Because I've already seen how Ole Miss and Georgia. I can guess it's going to be awesome. Some version of awesome again. Bama, Indiana, I think it'll be a slugfest. I think Oregon, Texas Tech has the opportunity to be really wildly exciting, and it's the one that I feel like is the most, I have the least of a read of what it'll be. So give me that. Give me those 3 hours.
Love it. Awesome article by Max Olson written about Joey McGuire and how he got hired on ESPN.com if anybody wants to check it out. Awesome. Right on the plane today.
You're fond of him. Think a lot of him, huh?
Max and Coach.
Well, I mean, I'm speaking to Coach. You've talked a lot about just sort of his path and how he got there,
and you get the gist when you read that.
Well, because there have been others that tried to follow that path and just didn't work.
Yeah, it's just a genuine guy who knew this was the time and he had to do it this time. And he talks about
how cool is that, Steve? You get right, you just decide it's my time to put my cash on the table. Bet on me.
He said it. He goes, I bet on myself and lost because he had the UTSA job before Traylor got it. Then he took the job with Rule and he stayed with Rule and Rule went pro. And he was the only guy I think Aranda kept around, and they were 2-7 in the middle of COVID. It's unbelievable.
That is,
but tells you a story like not a lot. I mean, we see this coaching cycle go round and round, and it's like the fantasy draft with the ping pong balls. Sometimes it doesn't come where you really wanted it.
Yeah, but as you describe that, what an amazing
draft Ashton Genty in the first round.
That probably didn't work. But that's an amazing place to be, and I think and feel for coaches. And you and I have talked about this so often. I know them, you know them. These guys, they uproot their families and they're living out of boxes, and you go from position coach to a coordinator, and then maybe you get a chance, and you just can't take the first gig that comes your way because it might be a place where you can't possibly win, and then you're fucked because you can't. It's over. And imagine this, as you're describing about McGuire, and then you wake up one day, and it's the new world of NIL, and you've got a guy who's got billions who wants to be your benefactor, and you're in the playoff against Oregon. You just must wake up going, how did I get this lucky, man? That's fantastic, because for the one of him, there's 999 that are going to get fired and are trying to find a gig, and their families and kids got to move, and it's a lot, man.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I passed right over Pooptown earlier. I don't know that it's...
I have a couple thoughts.
I don't know that it's necessary. I mean, the Jets and Giants, New York sports fans, I don't know how you do it. Cleveland, go ahead.
I will say this. Can I just say this about the Jets?
Please.
You have a first-year head coach. You trade away your two best players.
Right. Sauce and Quinnen.
Like, what kind of leadership are you going to have? What did you expect was going to happen? Like, this was what was going to happen. You're awful.
Pooptown.
But you got a lot of picks, and that's what all people want now.
Cool. Right, but the idea that you're going to run him because they stunk against the best team in the AFC, or at least the best team in the AFC East, of course they're going to stink. What do you think? They're going to be good? Fucking ghost of Vince Lombardi's not coming back and making them competitive.
Correct. Same page.
Giants, Jets, Tennessee, Vegas.
Still?
Who?
Titans? Great game Sunday.
It was great when they were ahead by 10, getting a point and a half.
Because you had them in a teaser.
Not great the way it ended. Although Shuck, happy for Shuck.
Love Shuck.
He's
careful.
Vegas is the kings of Pooptown. Arizona. Just people, I saw some stat about, Kyler Murray, people kind of shit on him and what's their record with him. It's not great, but without him, they're, I think, 2-18. Jacoby Brissett's sort of the same idea as Phillip Rivers in that it's a journeyman guy. He's not old, but he's a journeyman guy that can give you a chance, but okay, you could start him in fantasy, but you get destroyed every week. They're in Pooptown.
Cleveland?
What?
Cleveland?
Yeah, they're not good. I mean, I love their fans. So
Can anyone get themselves out of Pooptown Week 18?
No.
Really?
Although, I mean, again, we have a team that's probably going to make the playoffs. It was in Pooptown earlier. That's Carolina. I want to ask you about this. I don't know if there's even a Russillo. Again, I always quote Russillo. He's good reminders. Like, what's the topic?
Mm-hmm.
But when I hear, I'll tell you what the topic is. The topic is college basketball is at a flashpoint where something has to happen. When you have Hurley, Calipari, Pitino, Painter, right? So Hurley, Pitino, Calipari all won titles. Matt and Purdue haven't, but they lost to Hurley in a title game. You're talking about deans of the coaching profession, guys who've been at it a long time. All of them are saying the same thing, which is we have no rules. I saw a quote from Kevin Willard about, I guess Oklahoma had some 20-something-year-old Russian guy that they brought in for the second semester in his line, and I'm paraphrasing if I get this wrong, but it's like, what the fuck are we doing? And that's what I ask. I truly ask, but I'm asking the universe, Steve, because there's no one for me. Could I see the manager? There isn't one. Can I complain to somebody? To who? The sport doesn't have a single ruling body or person that could just say collectively, look, we can't be bringing guys to play for us that have been drafted by NBA teams. I read Scott Drew's explanation of we're just trying to play by the rules and we're allowed to do this, and we did. We had 2 gigantic contributing players that were injured, and we need a big. I don't fault Drew. I fault the sport for having a complete absence of any sort of structure of any kind that is allowing 20-something-year-old professional Europeans to come over here mid-semester, plug and play. We talked a little bit about this before. Mm-hmm. Players getting eligibility into infinity and then just suing until they find a court that rules in their favor so that they can play. It is a preposterous situation. And this is not me being anti-players making money. Of course they're supposed to make money. I've said it 1,000 times. It's just that something has to happen where we say, all right, if you got drafted in the NBA, then you're not going to college. You went pro. Well, you didn't play. Okay, well, there's a line in the sand somewhere, but there's no line, there's no rules. And we've said forever, Wild Wild West, not sustainable. It just keeps getting worse and more ridiculous. And there was a report that there was a player that was initially a Louisville commit, didn't go to Louisville, that got drafted, actually played in the NBA, and there were reports that there were major colleges kicking the tires. I believe, what's his name? Trenton Flowers? Do I have that right? I believe. And then the story was quickly refuted because a bunch of the teams that were supposedly reaching out to him all said, no, we haven't. But that's just going to be the next layer where someone who's actually played an NBA game is going to be playing a college game in February. And it doesn't make any fucking sense. And so you got Izzo calling Drew, and Drew explained, we got a good relationship. I just try to explain to him where I'm at. You've got these deans of college coaching saying we have no rules of any kind, because they don't. And Matt Painter said it well. He's like, we just want to know what the rules are so we can follow them. But there aren't any. Who in sports is going to be the ruling body or the person that leads here? Because the sport desperately has to have something happen beyond just kicking the can down the road, figuring out what your portal budget is for next year, trying to figure out if you can cobble enough money together from your boosters to pay the guys to come play for your school who played for one team the year before and someone else before that. That lunacy is one piece of it. But just this new deal with European pros, people that have been drafted in the NBA, what the fuck are we doing? And so I'm just talking until I run out of gas. I'm not asking you to answer it, but doesn't this feel like something has to be done?
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like you see that with the coaches, like Calipari does it at press conference on camera. Izzo did it on camera in a press conference. Hurley did not, which I am absolutely stunned by. Because if there's anyone that ever wants to make a point in a press conference in front of a microphone, it's Danny Hurley. So I saw he gave that to Norlander, a voice text, and he had to transcribe it. I just thought that thing was weird.
I didn't care because I thought what he said, as I'm just echoing.
Everyone's on the same page. And then you have Scott Drew explaining himself. But I go back to this. People hate college football because of the money and the NIL and the portal and this and that. And it's lost some of its connection, I think, because it's not an NCAA event anymore. It's based off the playoff. There's a commissioner of the NCAA that still gives out the trophy at the Final Four. That's what they have left basically in control of. It's their biggest entity. It's college basketball in the March Madness
That is true.
Where are they?
Absent.
MIA. We were in Indianapolis last week. That's where the headquarters is. I didn't see anybody pop their head out and be like, hey, you know what? Can I come on the show and talk about this? Not a peep.
They're terrified of courts that rule against them.
Yeah.
And people just sue until they find some court that goes, yeah, of course. How old are you? You're 26? You played college since 2019? Let him play. You're a 22-year-old Serbian pro? Come on in. You could play in conference play. I don't know, man. NIL, absolutely. Give dudes money. They should have been getting money all along. You got to collectively bargain it. Rob Douster, and I didn't hear it. I just saw the tweet, so I don't want to be wrong about what I say about his point. But the headline was like, well, why would college basketball collectively bargain an agreement that limits a cap on your NIL and limits your ability to move year to year? And I'm thinking, well, the NBA does. The aspirational league where these guys hopefully someday will go, unless they're just allowed to keep making money when they're 30 in college, we'll just keep suing and allowing that to happen. But the NBA has contracts, which mean you can't just go play every single year somewhere else unless you're a year-to-year contract. And there are salary caps. That's why they'd agree to it. Because the NBA did. It's just the absence.
Nobody's played yet, right? It's got to be after January.
What?
Nobody's played yet of these guys that have signed to these teams. Baylor.
I don't know.
Illinois.
Well, the guy for the Russian guy for Oklahoma played, I think, yesterday.
Oh, all right.
It's fine.
Yeah.
The absence of rules is anarchy, and that is what you have.
It's pretty crazy.
And everyone's just clamoring for rules, including some people that, by the way, I don't know, did they always play by the rules? Who's to say? I don't know. I'm not accusing them. But when people that maybe thrived in the absence of governance are now clamoring for it, that's where we're at. Someone, I beg of you, step forward and get a hold of this so that this sport doesn't further dissolve or devolve into whatever it has become. Bears no resemblance to. It's just not even the NBA. The NBA has rules. There are none in college. None. There's a lot of good players in college basketball too. That's the thing. There's things about the sport that are really, really good. It's just
and then the problem is football is going to go away, and everybody's going to be watching basketball, and everybody's going to talk about the games like they do.
And the fact that they're good,
yeah,
and that's great.
And then this thing,
there are benefits to freedom of movement. There are benefits to people being able to stack their rosters, if they've got the money to do it. But there's also benefits to some structure that say, all right, you know what we're going to just not let you go shopping at the European Pro Store for the second semester and bring guys back from pro leagues to play. Because that just seems to go counter to what ought to be. I wish I had a better way to say it than what ought to be, because who am I to say what ought to be? What do you got? New Year's. Go
Is that a
get after
champion sweatshirt?
Yes, I think I've had this since college.
I was going to say, are you bringing it back?
It's got the neck is worn out, but there's a heaviness to this. It's cold.
Unbelievable.
It's cold here today. I just threw this on.
Great find.
Thanks, pal.
Champion was the shit.
Yeah, well.
Girls had the matching turtleneck underneath. Early 90s. Find it out. Perms. A lot of perms back then.
Ladies, bring perms back.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
They smelled awesome.
Yeah, but the sweet, like the volume, hair volume, little twisties. That's nice. I have a very important announcement for our listeners.
Uh-oh.
No, they're going to like this. I sent an email on Christmas Eve to an executive on the ESPN. It's Christmas Eve. And the headline of the email was, "This is the dumbest thing you will read today." And I gave an impassioned pitch for why we must be able to sell shirts that say Pooptown. Mm-hmm. The explanation being, it's been a bit going back to the radio days. We do it on television. The other night, our director turned Fabulous Vegas into Fabulous Pooptown. We had the entire studio lit up for Pooptown. If we're allowed to do it there and on television, the idea that it maybe doesn't have a lot of synergy with the Disney brand, I understand that, but I'm doing it elsewhere. And I said, beyond that, just go to the tweet that was sent out and look at what our listeners and viewers want to buy. They want mechanical. Those are coming. They really want to wear a shirt that says Pooptown. I got an email back, on board, going to help make that happen, and more.
On Christmas Eve?
It was a Christmas miracle, Steve.
Wow.
The Miracle of Pooptown. And I don't know when, but in 26, don't know what 26 will bring, but I am certain of one thing. It will bring the ability to buy a shirt that says Pooptown. You have my word.
Yeah, we got to get the SVPod merch going. That's what we got to do. Moving forward.
The initial thing was just to get a space, and truly humbled and moved that people send pictures. Christmas gifts, bad beats.
Everybody had underwear on, wearing the T-shirts. I loved it.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. No inappropriateness.
Right. We don't want that.
No.
But you do want Pooptown.
Keep it appropriate.
We're here to help with that, and it's coming. So that I can tell you in 26.
All right.
Happy birthday in advance, big boy.
Thanks, bud. I'm going to be 3 weeks in nose wax, and I highly recommend it to everybody out there. It's the best thing I've ever done.
I want everyone to really let that settle, what he just said. He waxed his nose and said it's the best thing he's ever done. He's
2025.
He's made 3 humans. 3 wonderful, loving humans. He helped make.
Yeah, we know who does the work there.
Understood. But the idea
talking about miracles.
What about it has been such a revelation?
There's a freeness to the senses, Scott.
You feel like you got a better sense of just smell,
enjoyment, freedom, the whole thing. And to people that were AI and photos of like when they do the popsicle sticks up your nose. It's not what they do.
What do they do?
So they just line your nose with the wax with like a Q-tip.
Okay.
And then you just, all right, yeah, you could go higher. You could go higher. And then they just rip it out. They just put a napkin up there and they just rip it out. It's not, it doesn't hurt. There's no pain.
Bullshit.
It's like literally a feather of a second. You feel it.
When you pull the one nose hair out that we've discussed.
Oh, it's way worse.
So you're telling me when the entirety of your nasal cavity is just
yes,
out it goes and there's no problem?
Correct. It's great.
Okay. What's it cost?
Oh God, with tip, I think I was out of there $25.
I feel like somebody goes rooting around inside your schnoz. That's a bare minimum.
Now the salon I go to, it was a little uncomfortable because it was a Friday. It's packed with the ladies getting their nails and toenails done. So you got the lay down beds going, the fronts, all the hands, and I got to go through all those people to the back room.
Here comes,
and I'm like, whoa, no, nothing to see here.
Here comes this lunchbox.
A little nose wax.
Here comes Johnny Fucko to go.
Yeah.
Like,
that's not.
All these people are in there getting
like, what the fuck is that guy doing?
For the holidays. And here I want to just imagine. There is a place in Ansonia called the Norwood Social Club.
Athletic Club.
Excuse me. I always call social. I beg your pardon. The Norwood Athletic Club.
Yep.
In a town where this man is legend. And I want to imagine what the conversation among the fellas when they come in for some suds is about their boy, their pride, the pride and joy of the valley, out there getting his nose waxed. I can't think that that's going to be well received.
I don't care because all of those guys need it.
There you go.
That's what I'm trying to help them.
Yeah, you guys go get over on the Berlin Turnpike.
Yeah, you
out
guys
by Groton.
You got the goatees going, and then you sneeze, and it's like a party favor, and there's snots hanging out. Trust me.
So 3 weeks in, we're still good?
Yeah, we're at 2.5. I got it on the 12th. Yeah.
Do you have to make an appointment for the next one, or are you just sort of like wait?
I don't have anything. Nothing's in there. I'm clean as a whistle still.
Wow.
I don't itch no itches, nothing.
I mean, there's an actual reason why you have nose hair, which is like to filter out.
I noticed it. I noticed it when we were in Pittsburgh. When you get a runny nose because it's 3 degrees outside, you're going to need some tissues because there's nothing to stop it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Small price to pay to be, what was it? Freedom, enjoyment, something else.
Yeah.
Magnified sense of everything, I guess.
Mm.
Well, feel like I got
an Inspector Gadget nose now.
Okay.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Regarding me also. Thursday is 25 years to the day I played my last game. This is six in a row I've been to back at the Rose Bowl. I went to all the Stanford ones that were there and being on the field for all of them.
Okay.
I know what tunnel I ran out of. And every year I've been back, I just go and look back up that tunnel because I can't get myself to do. I remember what it felt like walking up there. And I feel like this year I have to walk back up that tunnel just to see and remember. And it's every year I'm here, I do it. I walk, it's the opposite corner of the game day set. I can remember it like it's yesterday. And I just can't. I have not been able to find myself to walk back up there. And it's nothing scary, it's just like,
so what is it? Why do you?
I don't know.
Why do you think? Do you think it's? Is it like acknowledging how much time's passed and feeling like what?
Yeah, that's definitely come because it's the same place. It's the same. I mean, nothing has changed.
It's the Bob Seger line, man. It's 20 years, where'd they go? 20 years, I don't know. I sit and I wonder sometimes where they've gone. Maybe it's that.
It is.
But I would hope.
It's crazy.
Yeah, but I would hope, though, that, I don't know, man, when we were, when my mom moved out of her house that she built with my stepfather, we had like a family get together and everybody was back and we were in our kitchen. And it was the last time we were all going to be in that house. And we all sort of stood in a big circle as a family. And we like held hands and like they asked me just to say a prayer. And I just said, you think of all the things, you think of what we lost, right? And that's their dad, my stepfather. But I said, look around this room and think of what you've gained in that time. 25 years ago, you played on that field. All right. Who you were, that guy. All right. That guy didn't die that day, but that part of your life ended that day. But think of what you've gained in all these years since. Walk up the fucking tunnel, man, and look around.
Yeah. Like Herm Edwards always says, he hates confetti. Because I know that's what it is when I look from, it's walking up, but then looking back out. That's the last thing was Ron Dane there, getting the truck. Like that's what I think is going to hit. It's like, holy hell, man, that was 25 years ago.
Yeah.
That's what's, I don't know. I just been thinking about it.
I think it's awesome. And I think you should go stand there and see what you see and let yourself feel what you feel. And I don't know. I would hope, like I said, think of what you gained, but also be proud of the fact that like there's a finite number, not a ton, who know what it is to walk down there. We all know what it is to look at that field. You know what it looks like standing on it.
That's what I'm saying. It looks a whole hell of a lot different coming out of the tunnel, man.
I bet it does.
Whole hell of a lot different.
Well, that's awesome, man. I appreciate you sort of sharing that sentiment. We'll go up there and stand there, and then if you feel like telling us what you see and what you feel, then that's cool. And if you don't, then that belongs to you anyway. So, and enjoy the parade, which is why you're there in the first place. Parade of Roses. I'm just going to work every day. That's what we're doing. Just day after day of shows. And then we start traveling and we go to college games and wild card games. Undoubtedly, whatever the coldest game. Although the NFL did us a solid this Saturday with a couple of good ones. So we'll be doing that Saturday in New York City.
Yeah, I think New Year's Eve, you're going to be going to bed as I'm waking up.
Probably because your wake-up call, you guys have to be on at like, what are you on, 9 a.m.?
We're on at 6 local, usually go hour and a half, 4:30. No, it'll be.
No, it's not.
No, it'll be off. It'll be off.
It's not that bad. No. Well, enjoy your time in California. Go smash some more In-N-Out. Send my regards to the game day crew.
Yep.
We'll be watching bright and early. And happy birthday.
Thanks, you buddy. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy New Year.
For sure. We will chat with you all soon. I don't know when. Jack will tell us. And then we'll send out a tweet or something.